Hey, happy Tuesday everybody, and welcome back to the Air Warfare Group. This is Juice again. So today's video is going to be a tips and tricks video for how to set up your supercarrier deck layout and ships and everything, supporting ships and all that good stuff that comes with a cruise as we get ready for our cruise. So I'm going to be actually taking you guys around the deck today just to show you this, and then I'm going to go into the mission editor and show you how to set this up. So let's go ahead and turn the parking brake off and let's go ahead and taxi up. I'll show you how I've set this up. So in the Air Warfare Group we have up to 16 borts or aircraft set up with skins for the Air Warfare Group. This is mine here. And that's to give you a little outside view. You guys have seen it in the other videos and stuff. Every member's got their name on their jet. Everybody's got the same same type of logos and stuff, and different tail flashes and everything. I do have a little bit of a difference in the CAG jet, but this CAG jet's not fancy like some of the other CAG jets. So over here on Cat 1, on the Cat 1 run up or the runway area, I have the Ravens from the Baltic Dragons Raven 1 campaign as the other squadron statics on the thing. Let me go ahead and set up my head tracking a little bit better for you guys. You're going to get a little bit of my face track no IR feel here. And there we go. Let's get it set. Get a little jumpy here. There. And I'll put my reading glasses because I am old. All right. So we're looking at this. You can see it took a while to get these dialed in just right, but I went ahead and put them in so that the chocks and the wheels were not going over the rail, but the noses were not going over the foul line there, that little red line, or safety line. So now I'm going to taxi back over to that other side and I'll show you how I did it. So basically we're setting it up like we're at sea, and one of the cats is blocked right now because we've got ships out, or aircraft out on the ship's deck. And so we're not using Cat 1 for this, and we're doing all hot starts. We are going to do one cold start in our campaign at the beginning, but we're pretty much going to have everything. The aircraft for each mission are going to be loaded as fragged with the bombs and weapons for each mission set that we're doing for that day, and there'll be hot start on the deck. So you can put up to 16 parking spaces on the deck. In this current configuration, I'll go F9, and this current configuration you see right here, this allows me to have up to 12 spawn slots without interfering with aircraft that are parked somewhere else. And then we do have the 4 slots which are takeoff from runway hot, which are engines on and you're hooked up to the catapult or in line with the catapult. And so this right here is 5 slots. There's 2 on that elevator, 2 on that elevator, 1 on the area in between. And then there's 4 aircraft that spawn right here in the open lane, right there. And then when you get over to elevator number 4, there's 2 more aircraft spawns there. There's also 2 aircraft spawns on the elevator 3, which is on my left there past the crane. And then down where I have that helicopter set up is getting ready. They just brought it out. They're unfolded the wings. They're getting ready to take it off and fly. That helicopter spot there also has 2 aircraft spawn spots. Now there is a spot right here by the LSO station where 1 airplane can park, but the Supercarrier Guide recommends you not park more than, I have just a tug there. You don't want to park more than 1 aircraft there because the aircraft, as they stack up back to catapult 4, start blocking the Frenzel lens, the mirror lens, or the meatball, from being able to see it on approach. So you can put 1 airplane on that right there if you want, but we've got 2 spawn points there, and there's our LSO station. I had to put those guys on there and everything. Over here I've got SH-60 from the Baltic Dragon skins. This is part of the campaign, so if you have the campaign you can get this skin. And this skin here is a way better representation of the SH-60 than the skins that come with DCS World. So I've got a tug tractor out there and a yellow shirt just standing there as eye candy for it. Now you can see up there I've got my SH-60 Starbird that's shadowing the chopper, shadowing the carrier right now. He's a chopper up in the air over there at 12 o'clock high, and I have him. See how he's in static position? He's not moving everything. I'll show you how I set that up. So without any more delay, let's go ahead and go to the mission editor. And what we did is, I'll show you what I did first, and then I'll go through and do a couple plots and examples. So here's my carrier group right here. Now I got 4 support ships, one off the bow, one over there, one over there, one over there. And if you click on those, you can see they all light up with the supercarrier, with the Truman, as being tied together. They're all set. They're going the same heading. So if I move the waypoint for the Truman, and I put it all the way out here, they will all go to the same point at the same interval, at the same spacing. They won't converge on each other. They move as one unit, so that's really good. And I actually went on one of the ED missions with 4 ships and just copied these 4 ships here. I actually copied the whole thing, Control C to copy, and then if you go and file open a new mission without closing out the editor, it keeps that in the clipboard, so you can paste it. So I did that, and then when I put the helicopter here, this was one of the big questions I got in the last couple of videos in the community post I did, is this helicopter, how do you keep it going parallel with the carrier? It's actually flying independent right now. I did not tie it to this unit because it's not a static, and it's independent right now, but what I did is I brought up the measuring tool, and I measured from the beam line, or the BRC line, from the carrier, right down the center of the carrier's center point. I measured from there with the measuring line, and I went over, and it's about 1,000 feet. See that? Then what I did is I put the carrier at its speed. The carrier right now, if you look at this, if I go here, let's go and close that out, and the carrier's going 15 knots, and it's going 15 knots on each waypoint. And that's what you've got to do, is you've got to set up each waypoint the same speed to keep it the same speed. Now the helicopter, I did the same thing. I set it up for 15 knots, and I used ground speed. That way I can keep him synchronized with the carrier. They'll both go across the ground at the same speed, no matter what the airspeed, no matter what the wind speed is. Now in the mission editor, I set up winds are coming down the deck from the takeoff line. On the catapults, winds are coming down about 11 knots. So on the ground, while I'm sitting in my jet with and go to the F2 view with the little information bar that shows you what your speed is down there, I get about 26, 27 knots. So I have about 26 or 27 knots of combined aircraft carrier speed and wind over the deck to give me a little bit of wind for approaches, so I'm not trying to land on a static deck or in too high of winds. Remember, the higher the winds over here, the wind speed, the more pitching deck, the more rolling of the ocean, the more waves you're going to get. I have run them up to about 20, 22 knots, and I have run the winds at like 4 or 5, and then I have run the carrier at 15, and I've run the winds up to like 20 knots. And you run it up to 20 knots, you get a lot more wave action, a lot more variety with the ocean. You get some more white caps and stuff like that. So I recommend you play around with that and see what you like to do. Now, what I did to make sure that the helicopter is matching the same speed with that 15 knots, and I have ground speed checked right there, I went up to the other waypoint up here at the top, and I also paralleled it. How did I get it so evenly? I used that measuring tool over here. Come over here, and I want it to be 1,000 feet roughly. It looks like it's going to converge on it a little bit. I don't have it zoomed in all the way, so you can see right here, if I go like this to there, yeah, it's going to converge on it a little bit, but it's going to converge like hours into the mission. And it's still going to be almost 1,000 feet away by the time they get to here in synchronize. That's if the helicopter lasts that long with gas. Now, I don't use any scripts, triggers, or cyclic ops. I don't use any Moose Airboss scripting or anything like that, because when we start our missions, we usually restart the server, and we know that we can run about 6 hours on this mission before our carriers and our tankers and stuff ran out of gas and have to go home. We don't do a live server or a real world campaign with restarts and everything. We just set it up when we need it, and we run this, and then we change the missions as we need. And that's because we have a dedicated private server that we do that on. So this is not like if you go to somebody else's server that's going to restart every 4 hours because they're resetting the mission and stuff like that, to refresh the assets and save on stuff. So I've got all of my independent bases here made and everything. So let's go like this. Let's go File, New. And let's go over here and we will start with Syria. Go OK. And again, I recommend you going to one of the ED missions in the mission editor and grabbing those assets and moving over to get start with. But you can go like this, ship. So we're going to hit the Theodore Roosevelt comes up for me. I'm going to go ahead and put him down here like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit add waypoints already highlighted. So I'm going to go out here like that. Whoops. Let's go ahead and delete that second waypoint. Let's say I'm going to set this guy up. Now let's go edit. Bring this down here. We'll have him going along track. So he's out to sea. I'm going to go over here. I've got 2 waypoints. So I'm going to be on waypoint 0. Going to go 15 knots. You can set it to whatever you want. Next waypoint, 15 knots. Hit save. I'm going to give it a new name, test. And that's what I recommend you do too, is just set up a bunch of test missions and try them out. Save the previous version. So over there, I'm going to go up here to weather. And if I go like this, first I'll bring up the measuring line. If I measure that line, go parallel to it, it'll see the winds they're coming out of the northwest. So if I want to know what the winds are, I'm going to go like this. In aviation speak, they tell you where the winds are coming from, not the way the winds are going when they tell you, compass heading. So winds are about 348. I'm sorry, the carrier's track is about 348. So I'm going to go over here and go winds. And I think 348 is what, 168 for reciprocal? So let's go like this. So I'm going to go surface winds 11. I'm going to bring this wheel down to, maybe it's 158. Let's see. So I'm going to go 158. I'm actually going to make that slightly come in. The winds are quartering from the right a little bit to simulate they're coming down the bow line, not the landing line. So about 171 on winds. And then if I go back here to the measuring tool, 168. And if I go the other, so 168, I'm going to go back to the winds. Make it a little bit more, about 8 or 9 degrees off. So 168, let's go 176. And you can actually go over here and highlight, go 176. There. So now my winds are coming over the bow for the takeoff point on the deck. So go ahead and save that. Now, I want to put some stuff on this deck. So I'm going to go to New Static Object. Let's see, I'm going to put this tug tractor here. This one's got looks like it's got an air card on it. I'm going to put it right here in the junkyard. Like that. I'm going to orient him. Go up here. Have him so he's facing out. Like that. Put him off side, make him look like he's just pulled in there. I'm going to link him to Naval 1, which is the carrier that I'm on right now. Now that he's linked, he'll show up when you test it. And then you can go like this, save, fly mission, start. And look, there's the tug. By the way, I'm using the Supercarrier module. If you don't have it, I definitely recommend it because this is how you make it more immersive than what it is already with ED. So, back to Mission Editor. And there's lots of different ways to preview your mission. I just go mission fly to test it and everything. Alright, so now once I've got that set up, I can go ahead and go right click C, my first static object. Then go down here and go right click left click control, left click guys. And then I can go over here and I can go up to type. Let's go airfield, let's go planes. And I'm going to go to F-18 block 50. Or F-18 block 50, that's the F-16, F-18C lot 20, I'm going to go down here to loadout. I'm going to put down our guest skin for the air warfare group. You can see what that is. It's just 000, and it's got our logo on it and our flash, tail flash, and our team flying in formation in fingertip, or finger 4, I mean. So, and then I can take and I can customize, you know, up here where it's really narrow between the red line and the edge of the deck. You got to have it at a high angle. So I'm going to put him right about here. Now, once you get this first one done at the angle there, you go save, and because I copied another asset, I have to go through and link him to Naval 1 again, so he's linked to the deck. I'm going to go save, fly mission, and there he is. So now I can zoom in as much as I see. Okay, so he's not, yeah, he's slightly over the line, and I've got a little bit of space there where that chalk can come up close to the rail a little bit. So I'm going to go escape, go back to the mission editor, and I'm telling you what, once you go through the hard work of getting this all tweaked like you need it, like you want it, once you go through this, it's easy to just copy this template and move stuff, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So let's go mission editor, grab that, and let's just move him slightly back, about right there. And that should be good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy him, Control C, Control V, and notice I just copied that same class, that same item. It is, and then I can assign a different loadout for him. Our art guy Budgie, I'm going to see if he'll make our vacant numbers. We've got 116, or I'm sorry, we've got 000 to 115, or 100 to 115, 16 airplanes, including the 00. And we have some of those slots are open that we can take and put those other numbers in, so we can actually have some statics of our skins on the deck. And it looks good because it shows, I'll see how this works out. So let's go save. Fly mission. You can also hit fly mission, and it'll ask you if you want to save your changes. You can hit yes. Not too bad. So I got room to move that other aircraft back a little bit. But as you can see, now you don't get those static numbers that ED will put on. If you put any other generic aircraft, any other squadron out there, it's going to start out and its number is going to be 01, 02, 03, whatever asset. Like, because this is the second asset I put on right here in the mission editor, if I didn't have that skin on there, that would say 02 because it's the second asset. And then the aircraft that's with my tail flash, or my number 100, that would be 03. And they go up. So you'll get, if you put 400 things on here, you're going to get from 0 to 400 on the numbers if you don't have any custom skins. So we might do that. I'll reach out to Budgie and let you know how that comes out. All right, so now we know how to do that. Let's look how to tie personnel on here. So let's go to quit, mission editor. Now let's put some LSO guys down here. So what I like to do, come down to the LSO ramp, or LSO station, and you can see the area where they stand right here. And there's that's kind of like the wind blast deflector fence they have, where they can see through it, but it's also protecting them from the wind coming over the bow. So I'm going to go like this. If I go here, go Control V, paste another aircraft there, then I can go up here and go personnel. I'll go LSO number 1, and now I can move him. I'll link him to Naval 11, and you can change that Naval 11 name if you want. And then I want him facing the platform, or where the plat cam is. Here's you can see the wires right here. Here's two black boxes and everything. So let's put him right there, like he's the number 1 LSO with the trigger in his hand. I wish they had the modeling where they had his hand overhead with the wave off trigger in his fingers on his hand. So, all right, and a default paint scheme is all we can do. So now we're going to go ahead and copy this guy. Control C, move out here. Control V. Now let's change him to another LSO character. Let's go LSO2 or LSO2. Yeah. So there he is. So LSO2, let's move him over here. Let's pretend he's the guy that's watching to see if the lane is clear, see if the deck's still foul. So he's the one that's holding his arm up, saying, "Hey, don't bring anybody in. Wave them off if they're coming, and everything until they're clear." And he drops his arm, and tells them it's clear. So now let's go to here. Go Control V again. Paste another guy. Let's go to LSO3. We rarely have twin LSOs out there, so let's go to a different LSO. These LSO skins have been updated. So this guy's, he's watching. He's like the second backup LSO. Let's put him, he's facing this way, like that. All right, now let's see. Let's hit save. Let's go preview that. Now this one, I'm going to go into the LSO station. All right. Now let's see who's here. There you are. So I got the one guy watching that way. Boy, they do look like the same guy. See how this guy looks. Yeah, he looks a little different. So now if I back out, let's see how they look. And then let's go F9. There they are. You see their bodies there? Pretty cool. All right, now let's get to that helicopter. So let's go quit. Mission editor. Now remember, I want to put a helicopter in, and I want it to be about 1,000 foot of beam at 300 feet. So I'm going to go new helicopter. Just leave it rotary 11. You can change that class name later, but just leave it rotary 11. He's going to be an SH60, a UH60A is what I'm going to pick. You could do the, let's do this. I'll do SH60B. Go to loadouts. There's no let out option, but if I go UH60A, wait, which one is it? I think it's, oh, I got to paste him first. There we go. So let's do this. So now I can add a waypoint. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here. I'm going to measure. This is where it gets kind of tricky. I'm going to measure from here. About 1,000 feet. Wow, look at that. Pretty close. Let's put him at right there. Right click, and now I'm going to move this guy over right there. Now I'm going to go up here at the other end terminal waypoint. I'm going to go add for the helicopter, zoom in up here, drop that. Now I'm going to get my measuring tool out again. I'm going to go about 1,000 out, so I'm bringing that over. You can see how the zoom factor is really, where's he at? Right there. So now if I zoom in, I'm going to go ahead and drag this over to there. Let's get him closer. There we go. Get my zoom factor right. Bring it over. 897. I wish they would leave the markup for you, like you can measure it. So I need to move them over about another half an inch at this resolution. Here's 1,002 feet. So I'm going to go down here. Hey, it does leave it up. There we go. All right, so now I've got that at 1,002. It's not perfect, but at least I'll stay about 1,000 foot separated the whole way down. Now for the helicopter, I've got 2 waypoints. Right now he's set to default 90 knots. I'm going to go 15. Make sure the ground speed is checked over here on the right above the MSL, above sea level, mean sea level. And then I'm going to go next waypoint, or back one waypoint in 15. I'm going to hit save, and let's go preview it. Got some more assets to load, takes a little bit longer. Fly. Nice sounds too. Oh, let me go down here. Let's go back to quit, mission editor. Let's get on that helicopter again. I'll show you guys why I'm using this helicopter too. And I got it from the mod. There is no skin download for it unless there's something I don't know about. So let's put him at waypoint 0 at 300 feet. And then let's go to the next waypoint, 300 feet. And then save. Now I'm going to copy him. Control C, Control V. Now I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to change him to an SH60B. Then you can see his skins options are, all I got is a standard loadout. Now I'll show you why I use this new skin, and I'll show you real quick. So let's go like this, flight, fly mission. Anytime you add assets, it adds a little bit of time to the load because it's got to load all the information in. Oh, so you can see that this model here, look at that guy. See how clean it looks, how realistic it looks. And then look at this guy. Not a very good model at all. It's a cool attempt, but it's more of a placeholder model. It looks like a 1970s game compared to this guy. And this guy's actually got good people in it too. This guy doesn't have anybody and it's all smoked out. Even you can see the pilot models inside aren't that good. But they are working on new updated models for aircraft for DCS World for the statics and the AIs. So that's something that's going to come. But until then, if you have the Raven 1 campaign, you can use this one. So let's go escape. And get back to the mission editor. Now, let me go ahead and delete this guy. And let's go over here and put some aircraft for me to start up in. So in the aircraft carrier guide, it shows you, if you go to the one, I'll link it in the bottom below, but it's the one that came out. It's the ultimate supercarrier guide put out by a third-party developer, a third-party member, an enthusiast that worked with Lex Thelonious of Speed and Angels and GB or Hornet Vids, two former Hornet pilots that worked with him on this, and you'll see the guide, and the guide has the parking spots in it. It shows you where the spawn parts are, but basically there's up to 16 parking spawns plus 4 hot spawns, so you can get up to 20 aircraft on the deck if you don't have things blocked. But like I said, we're simulating that one of the catapults is blocked. Like sometime during the week I may switch over to another layout where we move all airplanes over here and they're blocking Cat 2. You know, and we might have some missions where Cat 2, on recovery missions, we might have Cat 2 and Cat 1 blocked at the same time. So I want to add an aircraft group. I'm going to hit drop down here to client. And this one's going to be, let's call it Voodoo. And actually, let's call it Check. And this is going to be check flights. And then I'm going to hit their aircraft is going to be the F-18 Lot 20. Check 1. This is going to be Check 1-1. Check 1-1 is going to be aircraft 100. That's the division lead. That's my aircraft. I will go here, put it down on the deck. Then I'll go here to take off from parking hot. It puts us in the slot. Everybody will show up looking here, but they'll actually spawn at different points. So you'll see where, see I'm here on the cat right here, but you'll see where I actually spawn in at. So let's go to my loadouts, and I will hit the drop down and go to Juice 100. And then I'll hit my payload. Let's go down to Hornet Training. Let's go, where is it? Here's my Med Cruise Training, version 1 right here. This is our training loadout. We've got Cap 9, Tix Pod. This is all for exercise training right here. This is when we go out and do our stuff. We just have a couple of bombs on there for weight training. And we have the AT FLIR, which I believe is the only carrier capable FLIR pod. It's the only one that can handle the slams on the deck. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. So I will hit save, and then let's go fly mission. Throttle back, gear handle down, switches safe. Select check slot. All right. So now if you look at my jet and I go F2, or sorry, F2 and then Control Y, you can see that I'm doing 28 knots right now across the ground, which is pretty good. So I've got that enough of a headwind and a forward momentum to come in and not be too fast or too hot on the carrier. For, you know, there's always got to be a little bit of wind over the deck, whether the carrier makes it itself or it uses the winds that are out at sea that day. So right beside me to my left would be aircraft spawn number 2, then 3, then 4, all down the line to the left in the lane there, in that lineup there. As a matter of fact, the carrier group, the carrier guide that I'm going to link in the description to below, excuse me, I can't talk this morning, is going to have all the slang nomenclature of all the different parts of the carrier, you know, from the patio to the junkyard, the cats, everything. You'll have that all set up and everything. You'll see that all where it's all set up. So you got 16 slots depending on where you put your statics and stuff. Now for this is, I just showed you guys how to set this up really quickly. I'll go ahead and go escape, and I'll take you to our real mission. Let's go ahead and close that. Close. Let's go mission. My missions, Syria. And I'll go Med Cruise 2223. Start. Throttle back, gear handle down. And we'll jump in check 1 again on the Roosevelt. In the next video, guys, I'll show you how to set up the TACAN, the ILS, how to do all that, and I also will show you, I'll probably, once I get this mission done and get the bombing ranges built on the island of Cyprus on the western tip, I will put this mission up in the user files for you guys to download and use if you want. So now let's check it out. Look around. You can see I've got my LSOs down there. Got the helicopter static there with the little guy, just what we saw before. And there's my Starbird ready to pull me out of the drink if I have to eject. That's the video for now, guys. Sorry it was a little long. I will do some more videos following up on this, as well as a carrier deck taxiing tip video that I'm going to put out for our air warfare guys, and they will use it for training, but you guys can also use it just for enjoyment. That's all I have. Stay safe until I see you again. Bye.